I am back with an all new buzz, and I'm here with Stephen Tobolowsky, Oliver, and Corbin Bernsen. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
Good.
So we're here to talk about Woodstockers, and before I even get into that, I just have to say to start off with Corbin and Oliver. I love Jeannie. She was my all-time favorite. I got to talk to her
Oh,
on
wow.
my show, and she was an absolute spitfire because she was
Yeah.
just so honest, and I loved talking with her. I loved me some Kay Chancellor. I really did. So
Yeah, yeah. Imagine if she had been around some 90-year-old hippie chick.
Yeah.
She'd
Yeah.
have been
I can
killer.
already hear her right now, just
Oh
just for
God,
Yeah.
that alone.
the
Uh,
acid queen from the '60s at 90.
Yeah. A caftan running around Woodstock telling everyone fucking what to
You might have
do.
to AI some of that shit, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you imagine? I just envisioning that for me and hear you talking about it, and I already know what could come out of her mouth. I'm already sitting here going like, I would be
Yeah.
entertained as.
I'm writing this idea down, man, because this is good. I gotta like
Yeah.
See,
Lenny's mother.
see, there you go. See, there you go. We're plotting ideas out even before it premieres at South by Southwest. There you go. But I had to say that because it was such a thrill and it was such an honor to know her and to also get to talk with you both. It's just an absolute thrill for me and Steven. When I'm hearing about one of your favorite movies, is Thelma and Louise, you're already high up on my top tier list. So all three of you, this is just making my day. So thank you so much for joining me
Of
today.
course. Thank you.
So Woodstockers from, and you could correct me if I'm wrong on this, Corbin. Did this idea stem from when COVID happened, when you moved to that area, or was it before that? Or how did the idea
As
come
with
about?
everybody, those COVID days are kind of like screwy in my head. We'd moved to upstate New York near Woodstock. Um, COVID hit. We were in LA during it, and we're renovating a house. But I started getting the idea of these people that I met in my first days up here that I called Woodstockers, who are
Mm,
people basically who uh, not just went to Woodstock, but came up here, lived that life, lived the dream a little bit of the Woodstock dream, and basically never left. And there were tons of them. They exist up here. By the way, it's important. They're up here, but they're everywhere. They're in San Francisco. They're in London. Anywhere you go now, you can look. You go. There's a Wood.
oh yeah.
My wife says there's a Woodstocker. There's a Woodstocker. It's basically people out of that period of time. But it wasn't because of COVID. COVID allowed me to do what everybody else did, just sit down and do something with your days. And
Yeah.
I wrote one episode and that turned into eight, which are not really relevant now because it's so much has changed. But it gave me the basis of understanding the character and where we could potentially go with the series.
So let's describe it to everybody, the concept of the series, because you kind of did, but let's just go full throttle with it. What can people expect from Woodstockers when they see it?
Ollie, you want to go?
I think I think it's just an exploration of people and time and a place. I mean, how I look at it is an exploration of people and time and a place that I do think are pretty universal, like Corb said, but also are specific. Like these people are specific to this area and region uh, um, of the Hudson Valley in upstate New York, and it's looking at a character at this moment, this very pivotal moment in his life where he's deciding how he wants to spend his time and what's important to him and making amends and saying you're not worth my time and considering weighing all the things that he's done and really taking stock of the good and the bad. I think that's like a great that's a great thing that people do when they start to look down the barrel of their lives and they go, wow, what was the value of my life? And that to me is kind of what this story is just someone really taking stock of everything and understanding themselves.
No
Yeah,
pun
I sort of
intended.
call this thing the reckoning. It's the accounting. the accounting of your life, and coming not so you're not just passive, you're not just tallying up the numbers, but then you're making peace with that, with
Mm.
what you're making peace with the numbers. And that is the only way I personally see forward to making the most out of what is left. Because you're spending part of your day like, I wish I'd had the career of so and so. I wish I'd done this. I wish I had
Yeah.
hair. I wish, I wish, I wish. I wish I didn't smoke. My lungs would be better. Reckon it, do the accounting, and then move forward. And the other part of it for me is the hope and the dream of Woodstock, which I didn't know when I wrote it, but I watched it again the other night. And there's things they say right at the beginning, like this is a messed up world, and
Mhm.
it's hard to be, it's hard to live in this world, to have dreams. Unless you're young. And that's where Ollie sort of comes in, where it was a perfect fit to say, well, all right, let's somebody who still has the ability to have dreams handle this thing, which, I think was a smart choice on my hand to not have it directed by an older actor or director.
Interesting. No, I like that. I like that perception because it just gives another vision into it to where you have the younger perspective going like, well, this is not coming from me per se. This is now going to come from him. And I think a lot more people will probably resonate with that a little bit more because of the fact it's coming from a different younger perspective. So I like that. I like that explanation. And what I wanted to ask as well, because you kind of touched on this a little bit, Ali, and as well as you, how much of this do you see? Like, I'm trying to say this correctly, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to say this correctly so it doesn't come off wrong. But
No,
do
no.
you feel that when you observed the Woodstockers, let's say,
Mhm.
because we talked about how it's the reckoning and everything. I kind of took it when I read the description and looking into it that these were people who did not want to move past that time span. They wanted
Yeah.
to still stay in that era of life. They didn't want to look forward and they just wanted to stay in the past. Is that how you also perceived how stalkers could be, or is
I
that
think that that's an interesting observation because I think a lot of those people, like, okay, so here's the really cool dichotomy of people, especially of that generation, the hippie generation. They were full of idealism and they were full of like future thinking. So it was like moving forward in terms of like race and in terms of like,
Mhm.
like the civil rights movement and all of and like what people were doing to one another and I mean people's rights and ideas were like a huge part of this rebellious moment and they all were born out of that. And
Yeah.
then post 60s, as hippiedom became kind of like a cultural thing that had less to do with the ideals of it and more to do with the kind of aesthetic of it, a lot of that idealism fell away. And what you were left with was people living a certain way, regardless of what that really meant. And
Mhm.
so I think to your point in question, what's fascinating is a lot of these older people that live up in that region, they actually like are not very open-minded and they're not very like progressive in terms of
Yeah.
their kind of ideas and ideals. They're actually like they've become really calcified. And I think like that is this story too that we're telling about a person who in 1969 was full of ideals and future thinking, and then none of it happened. And then
Yes.
he
Yeah. Yeah.
became this rock that didn't realize there was no movement, no progress. And that's kind of where we're catching up with him. And people of a similar generation, we're catching up with all of these people in this moment where they go, holy fuck, 50 years has gone by and I actually haven't changed at all. Am I going to change? Am I too old to change? Or am I just going to like fucking die? And
Yeah.
so that's, I think, like what's cool about those people, to explore those people is, and that generation of people, is that they were really, they believed one thing and then time happened and then they kind of like fell farther and farther. The bullseye became like wider and wider. The target became wider, and they didn't really know where they ended up.
I think to that point, Oliver, you're right. Combining both those thoughts, I've told you that it's about this reckoning. Well, you got to get to a point where the alcoholic says, I drink, and my name is so and so, and I'm an alcoholic. And that point, they're kind of stuck. Even in season 2 of this, I imagine to take place in winter when they're frozen. They don't have the tools, the friends, the drugs. They don't have the things that got them through the day that actually kept them in a perpetual state of non motion. And the series, people always say, well, if it's a series, where are you going with the series? The thing I described is via my character mostly, and the others, they will, some will make it and some won't, as in life, but it is his unfreezing, getting to that place, and that is the engine of the series, if you will, that he has to come to those terms, live with it, find new ways to move forward. So those are all the active things that has to happen. But they are stuck right now. They're all stuck. All these people, they're stuck, except for Calvin, who's dead, and he's kind of stuck because he can't really do anything. He's stuck probably in
He's stuck in
purgatory.
purgatory. I was getting ready to say that he's stuck in purgatory. But I should have prefaced that and said,
Right,
yes,
Stephen, do we have you
he's
yet?
raising his
Let's
hand.
see.
Yes.
Do you have
Yeah.
me now? Do you
Okay,
have
there
me
we
There
now?
he
go.
is.
Oh, I love technology.
Don't we all?
I spend at least 50% of my quality time swearing and drinking because of technology. Okay. I'm ready for you, I think. I'm just pretending to use this microphone now.
Yes. But
it's a convincing prop.
it is there for decoration at this point.
Yeah.
But while we wrap it up here, I know Stephen, we wanted to talk to you about your character real quick. So if you wanted to give like a really quick rundown of that, what we can expect from him in this, that'd be great.
Who are the people that matter to us in our life? The people that we grew up with, the people that we've spent our life with, or the people we're going to die with. And I think that's Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. And the wonderful thing about my character in this movie is I'm not only Corbin's Act 1, it looks like I'm part of his Act 3, which is both a curse and a gift. And because the movie is about something real, about how we're going to spend the time of our life, it's both delightful and horrifying to have your old friend who is no longer there to be there to help coach you through the difficult moments of life. Because in this movie, I've seen some of the other side. I've seen some of the other side, and I know what's on the other side of the hill. And I can help Corbin make sure that he doesn't really screw up his final years.
And
give him a little
what's
truth.
important there is that because one of the challenges of writing for that character is that if he's just reactive to what is happening and doesn't have his own journey, but I think what we'll do is, as he guides me, my conscience, whatever, my spirit, whatever you want to call it, as he guides me, we will find revelations about who he is, sort of backtracking because of the way he approaches life with me. I don't think it's as far as like, hey man, you're alive, you get to do this, I'm dead now,
Right.
and I wish I had done this. But the way he inspires me, you're gonna find out more about who he is. And because he does have to have his own journey, as it were, but I think it'll sort of be told backwards, because we'll find out where this guy came from, just the way he guides me.
Okay. Looking forward to that, and I can't wait to see it. And much success at South by next week. Can't believe it's already a week away. And it's really, and I really appreciate the time you guys came and spent with me, Stephen. I know we had some mic issues, but we got you in here before we wrapped up, so I was very happy for that. Yeah. And we would love to have you back and talk about this more. Back. Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm actually, Ollie, I'm going to be talking to you again tomorrow.
Love that.
For Bagmore. So I will be talking to you tomorrow. So we're not done yet. So
Okay.
we got another one coming. But you guys, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Novell.